Hi everyone, as per our requests, I will do undetermined coefficient. Alright, this is our general form. Okay, so we have a dy squared over dt squared plus b dy over dt plus cy equal to f of t. Alright, this part is called complementary function, and this part is called, your f of t is called forcing function. Alright, so we have what we call homogeneous function or homogeneous equation and non-homogeneous equation. The difference is, for homogeneous equation, your forcing function is equal to 0. But for your non-homogeneous equation, your f of t is different from 0. What I mean by that is your forcing function can be a constant, your forcing function can be an exponential function, it can be a trigonometric function, it can be a linear function, it can be a quadratic function. Alright? So, what you need to know when you have your complementary function, you need to look for what you call the characteristic equation. The characteristic equation is simply you extract the quadratic equation which is there. Alright? So it will be what? We are here, we're gonna take only the coefficient, you're gonna have n squared plus bm plus c equal to 0. This is what we call your characteristic equation. Alright? So when you are solving your characteristic equation, you end up having 3 different cases. The first case is when we have distinct root or different root. Alright? So the first case is when we have distinct root, when we have n equal to m1 different from m2. Alright? Here in this case, when you solve this equation, for example, you find n equal to let's say p, and then n equal to q. Alright? For example, okay. How will you write your YC? Your complementary solution will be, you write a e to the power p t plus b e to the power q t. This is number 1, the first case. The second case is when we have m equal to m1 equal to m2. Right? So here in this case, let's say we have m equal to p. Alright? So it's a repeated root. So how will I write my YC? My YC will be a e to the power pt plus b. Look at this. E to the power pt. The rule says you cannot repeat the same thing. Right? Because a is a constant, b also is constant, so you cannot, it's going to clash. Okay? So you do not repeat the same thing. What you have to do is, you have to multiply it by the variable. You must choose, you must multiply one of them by the variable. Usually I will advise you to multiply the second one with the variable. Again, here our variable is t. Alright? So to make it different, you're gonna just multiply this by t. Then it's gonna be different. So you can simplify it now. Your YC will be equal to a plus b c last case will be when we have a complex root, which means your m equal to, let's say, alpha plus or minus beta I. Okay? And how do you write your yc? Your yc will be equal to e to the power alpha t, you open the bracket. Please, I want you to always start with cos. It's going to be cos of beta. And notice something, do not care about plus or minus, we're going to always take it positive, alright? Beta t plus sine of beta t and close your bracket. Alright? These are the three cases that you will come across while you're solving your characteristic equation. Okay? Let's go using the forcing function. In the forcing function, you have to find what you call trial function. Remember the rule that I told you, you cannot repeat the same thing. So if you see the function is always there, you have to multiply it with the variable to make it different. Okay? Now, let me give you some different trial function. Okay? If your f of t equal to the constant, your trial function will be what? Will be c. For example, if your forcing function is 2, or if you're forcing it to minus 5, your yp will be equal to c. Alright? Now, if your forcing function equal to an exponential form, e to the power, let's say, kt, your trial function will be equal to c e to the power kt. A simple example would be if you have your trial function as e to the power 2t, like this, your yp will be equal to c e to the power 2t. You have to repeat that. That's 2. Because if you put a, then you have problems when you will be simplifying your functions. Alright? So you repeat that. Okay? For example, if it was e to the power minus 5t, you will say your yp will be equal to e to the power minus, it's going to be c times e to the power minus 5t. Alright? So, if your forcing function is equal to a linear function is like 2t plus 1, or 2t, or let's say 3t, or minus 1, okay? Your trial function will be yp equal to mt plus c. Alright, this will be your trial function. Okay? If your forcing function is a quadratic equation, alright, for example, you have x squared minus 3x minus 5, or x squared plus 1, or x squared only, this one will give you ax squared plus bx plus c. This will be your trial function. Okay. So let's start. Let's take one example so that we can try to sync what we have learned and the application of it. Okay. Let's say you have dy squared divided by dt squared minus 3 dy over dt plus 2y equal to 5. right? Minus 3y dy over dt plus 2 equal to, let's take, for example, our forcing function equal to 5 constant, right? Number one thing that we have to do is we have to find our characteristic equation. Our characteristic equation is very simple. It's going to give you m squared minus 3m plus 2 equal to 0. That is your characteristic equation. So you have to solve that equation. Please use your calculator. I do not want you to have wrong answers and then it's going to mess up everything. So for you to use a calculator, it's simple. You press mode. Alright? You press mode. After mode, you go to 5, which is equation, and the quadratic equation is number 3. You press 3. After that, you insert your data. But here you're going to only take the coefficient. The first coefficient is 1. You put 1, and then you press enter. You put minus 3, and then you press enter, and you put 2, and you press enter. After that, you press again enter. Your x1, which will be m1, your m1 will be equal to 2, and your m2 is equal to 1. Alright? So it's depending on how you want to write it. This is, we are following which category? It's, we have distant root, different root or distant root. Okay, so we're going to write this. Our yc will be equal to a e to the power 2t plus b e to the power 1t. Alright? This is what we call our, you have your yc. So what's the next thing? The next thing is we have to find our particular solution. For finding the particular solution, you check your y, your forcing function. Alright? We have to find our particular function will be yp. You can see that we have constant there. And our trial function for a constant, we just place c. Alright? Then you're going to differentiate those. Differentiation of constant give you 0. Second differentiation will also give you 0. And then we're going to take this element and replace it to our original equation. In our original equation, it's going to give me 0 minus 3. Differentiation of this one, I'm going to give you 0 also plus 2y. Sorry, I forgot y here. Sorry. 2y. What is y? Y will be our yc, which is yp, which is 2, and then we're going to write 5 here. Okay? Here, 2c equal to 5, then c will be equal to 5 over 2. This is actually our yp. Our yp will be equal to 5 over 2. Because you got this, you replace it here. Yp will be equal to 5 over 2. Alright? So our solution will be equal to, I didn't give you that formula. So about that, I think I did. It's not on the board, so I didn't. The general solution equal to yg equal to yc plus yp. Okay? Yp is for the characteristic equation, and yc for characteristic equation, yp is for your particular equation. Okay? So for this equation, our final answer will be yg equal to, we have your yc here, and then we have your yp here. So it's going to give you a e to the the power 2t plus b e to the power t plus 5 over 2. Alright? So, let's say you have the very same question, but your forcing function is not 5. It is, for example, let's take let's take 2e to the power 3. Let's say we have the very same question, the second derivative of this minus 3 dy over dt plus 2y, and then this time your forcing function is e to the power 3t. Alright? Obviously, our characteristic equation is going to be the same thing. Okay? We're going to do the same thing, and we're going to find that your m equal to 2 and m2 equal to 1, and then your yc obviously is going to be the same thing. Alright? Plus b e to the power t, like this. Okay? That we called previously. Now the problem will be yp. Alright? So here I have my trial function, my forcing function is a exponential function. The law says we have to take it's going to be c e to the power kt. Alright? But here we have to, instead of k, we have to put exactly what was there. So it's going to be c e to the power 3t. One very important thing is you have to check your yp. Do you have anything like, do you have any similarity here? I have c e to the power 3t, I have a e to the power 2t, and b e to the power t, so there's nothing that can conflict, so I can take this one. Okay? So I differentiate my yp, I will have 3c e to the power 3t. Second differentiation, I will have 9c e to the power 3t. Alright? So we're going to take this information and then put it back to our original equation. Okay? So our original equation, it will become what? I will have a second derivative, which is 9c e to the power 3t minus 3. My first differentiation is what? 3c e to the power 3t. And my third one will be 2 plus 2y. What is y? Y equal to c e to the power 3t equal to what? 2 e to the power 3t. Alright? So, what are you going to do here? You have to simplify. In order to simplify, you can just say, if I multiply everything by 1 over e to the power 3t, you'll find that you're going to end up with c 9c minus 3 times 3 is going to be 9c as well, plus 2c equal to 2. This one cancel out, and then your final answer will be 2c equal to 2, then c will be equal to 1. Alright? So our yp, you're going to take this value, you put it to your yp will be c equal to 1 e to the power 3t. Okay? If, let's say that you had, instead of 2 e to the power 3t, you have, for example, let me say 5 e to the power 3t. What will be the difference? The difference will be here. You're going to have 2c e to the power 3t equal to 5 e to the power 3t. And then this one cancel out, you're going to have c equal to 5 over 2. Alright? Then you're going to put this value in your yp. Alright? another example whereby you will have to think a little bit more. Okay? Let's say our forcing function is, I'll take something very similar. Let's say I have 3e to the power 2t, like this, for example, like this. Let me double check if it's still recording. Yes, but yes, it's recording. All right. Let's say that we have something like this. Obviously, our characteristic equation will be the same because the complementary function is still the same. So we're going to end up having this. Right? But now the problem will be here in our trial function. Our trial function, because we're an exponential function, it will be c e to the power. I have to repeat exactly what was there, 2t. Alright? But if I put this one, you can see it's going to clash with this one because we have a e to the power 2t and here we have c e to the power 2t. So it's going to clash. So to remove that, you have to multiply it with your variable. And our variable here is t. Alright? So you have to do what? You have to multiply it by t. If you don't do that, you will end up having a problem whereby everything will cancel and then you end up having a number here equal to a number and then you cannot replace, you cannot find your yp. It's very crucial because you have a repeating, it's repeated. You have a constant multiplied by e to the power 2t and here you have a constant multiplied by e to the power 2t. You must make the difference. Remember, I told you here, because these two are repeating, you must multiply by the variable to your second repeated function. Alright? Please, I'm repeating that because most people get it wrong there. Okay? So then what we're gonna do, let me write it properly. I have y equal to ct e to the power 2t. Alright? Then I'm going to find my first differentiation. Okay? I'm going to use what you call product rule. It's going to give me c e to the power 2t plus 2ct e to the power 2t. Alright? If you want, you can rewrite it, but it doesn't matter. Let's do the second differentiation. The second differentiation, we have a constant here. It's going to give me only e to the power 2t. So, okay, basically I'm going to have 2c e to the power 2t plus, here I'm going to use the product rule. Alright, it's going to give me 2c e to the power 2t plus 4ct e to the power 2t. Alright, you can rewrite this properly. I have y second differentiation. You can see these things are the same thing. I'm going to have 4c e to the power 2t plus 4ct e to the power 2t. Alright? That's one of the simplification. Right? So, what's the next step? The next step is to replace all these things on your original equation. Okay. And this one. We're going to replace this into our original equation. Look at what we're going to have. Obviously, we have second differentiation of y. It's going to give you what? It's going to give you 4c 4c e to the power 2t plus 4c t e to the power 2t. Alright, this is number 1. Please, I would like to, every time you will replace something, put it in bracket. Okay? We have minus 3 dy over dt, which is our first differentiation. We're going to put our bracket. What is it? It's c e to the power 2t plus 2ct e to the power 2t. You close the bracket. Alright? And then the last step will be, the last one is 2 multiplied by y. What is our y? Our y is our yp, which is ct e to the power 2t equal to what? This will be equal to 3 e to the power 2t. Same thing applies. You must multiply out these roots and then find what is the value of c. Alright? So in this case, I'm going to have okay, you're going to have 4c plus 4ct bracket e to the power 2t minus 3c e to the power 2t minus 2, it's going to be now 6, do not make that mistake, 6 minus 6c t e to the power 2t plus 2ct e to the power 2t equal to 3 e to the power 2t. Let's say that you decide to divide everything by e to the power 2t, which will result in removing all the e to the power 2t. Alright? So you're going to end up having what? I will erase this part. Sorry about that. I'll erase this part. And at the same time, I do not want my video to be very long. I will try to stop and then we're going to take another video. But I have to finish this question first. So I end up having 4c plus 4ct minus 3c minus 6ct. Okay? And then I have also plus 2ct equal to 3. Why? Because I decided to remove all the e to the power. I decided to divide everything by e to the power 2t. Alright? So, what will be our answer here? You can see we have 4ct plus 2ct is give you plus 6ct. We minus this one, it's going to give you 0. So we can cancel these guys. Cancel out, I have 4c minus 3c equal to 3. Alright? So here it's going to give you what? C equal to 3. Then you put it back to where? To 1p. It's going to give you what? Your C was equal to 3. T e to the power 2t. Then our general solution will be equal to what? A e to the power 2t plus b e to the power t plus your yp, which is 3t e to the power 2t. Well, this was our first part of undetermined coefficient. Please put some comment. If you have a question, you may ask on the comment section. And we're trying to improve our teaching because everything is online now. So please, I'd like you to like it and share with friends. Please put comment. Thank you very much. It was Jeremy Ibango Canteen. I'm a clinical engineer, electronic engineer also. And yeah, so you're gonna find the video about medical equipment and mathematics in my channel.